Hey everybody, how's it going? Fritz here from Fritz on a Budget, and today's installment of Tone on a Budget is all about this guy right here. Here it is. Well, it's all in the title, isn't it? $150 dream guitar. This is a IYV, and you can get these on Amazon pretty cheap. They just recently changed the design on this particular one. I think Gibson might have came after him because this is very close to one of their particular Les Pauls. I have two of these. One mocks a 70s Les Paul. This one I think goes back a little further with the lighter body and the fatter neck, but actually I hate fat necks, but this one feels incredible. So originally this started as an unboxing video, and what we're going to do is we're going to cut away to that and we're going to start it from the unboxing, and then we'll go to the customizations I've done of this thing and see the changes that it's taken since then. Let's take a look. Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Fritz from Fritz on a Budget, and today's installment of Tone on a Budget is going to be a guitar unboxing. Now, what guitar are we talking about? Well, on a budget, correct? Yes. Well, this is probably the best on a budget item I've found. The only drawback is I don't think they're in production anymore, and that's why I bought a second one. This is actually guitar number 2. I had purchased one of these about a year ago and wanted to give it a full run. I did 2 live shows with it, a bunch of recordings. I did some modification to it, put another pickup in it, and it is literally my favorite guitar. Today we're going to check out the IYV single cut. Basically it's the Les Paul ripoff in emerald green. So we're going to unbox that right now without any further ado. Let's cut this bad boy open. It's kind of a unique guitar box. I'm not sure if it's the original packaging because I wound up getting a bit of a deal here. So we're just going to go right ahead and open this thing up and alright, now one long cut down here, and we should access a new guitar. I don't know, you know, smart guitar players take a long time to cut things with sharp utensils. Okay, so we're gonna unbox. Let's see, which way is this face? Oh, okay. So I've never done an unboxing video, so, well, here it is, the unboxing. Alright. We're going to bring this up here so we can see it, and we're going to take this off. Take it off! Take it off! Alright, so we got that out of the way. And what else do we have here? Well, looks like they might have sent me the right one, but boy, this one feels not so heavy. Truss rod adjustment, we like that. Not like it needed, usually. Most of the IYV guitars that you get brand new will come right out of the box playable or better. They're all set up before they leave, from what I hear, and that's a pretty courteous thing they do. Alright, so we got a couple of pieces of styrofoam that need be moving, so okay. We did the unboxing, now for the unbagging. Alright folks, it's Christmas, you ready? Okay. And ooh, IYV. Oh, come on. Take it off. Ooh, look at that. There we go. $130. This is a touch lighter than the other one. I'm just a touch. It still feels nice, but it's a light one. It's slightly lighter. I think I like that. Let's tune it up. Use tuners. How 90s. B E. Yeah, perfect pitch, bitches. What? Oh wow. It seems someone did an intonation job on this. It traveled very far and sat for a while here in the States. Once it did get to the States, I'm going to compare this to the other IYV and see if those necks and the body and the weight and all that really do feel similar. Oh yeah, it's a heavy guitar. Okay, for the comparison, we have, yes, mine that I already had. This one is definitely heavier. Not by a whole lot, but significantly. You'll notice it. Aside from that, they definitely look a lot alike. The new one looks more impressive. The finish is more consistent, and with the gloss on it that they put, I don't know what kind of resin or whatever they use, They did a better job on the newer one. The old one I thought looked great. This one looks even better. But that crap isn't really what I care about. These are supposedly cut on a CNC machine. That's the whole trick with IYV guitars. And their consistency is supposedly second to none, but this neck feels slightly different from the other one. It feels a little bit wider. Yeah, it's a thinner neck on the other one. It still plays better than a Les Paul. Yeah, this is based off of, I believe, like an early 70s, somewhere around there, Les Paul. I'm not really a Gibson buff. I couldn't tell you shit about a Gibson because it's worth over $1,000, so why the hell do I care about that? I'm going to be popping a little Guitar Madness pickup in here for about 1/5 of the price of the pickups that they're mocking, and they mock them really well. I'm going to put a PAF in this one, probably the 57 PAF. It kind of mocks somewhere between a Gibson PAF and the DiMarzio PAFs from the 70s, which I have in my black Epiphone Les Paul. The frets are a little rough. Understandable. It's probably only been played once. Once it was set up, it was put in a box and sat there for over a year. And for some reason, somebody was getting rid of the old stock. This particular guitar, this particular single cut guitar, was discontinued from what I understand, or they're just waiting to mill another bunch. But they do have one out right now that's got some differences. It's a little bit more of a modern look. The back has a weird kind of diagonal cut, almost looks like the ESPs, like an Eclipse. So it's kind of like the new ones kind of look to me like a hybrid between an Eclipse and a Les Paul, which is A-okay with me, Holmes, I'll tell you what. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug this thing in and give it a little bit of a test. These stock pickups, now, a guitar that costs $130 shan't have a good pickup in it usually, but this, right off the bat, if it's anything like the old pickups that came on the original one right here, I'm gonna have to say that it is doable and maybe even giggable. Some people like the sound of that pickup. I don't. I like a little more bite and a little more definition in my sound. Okay, last test. We're just gonna go right ahead and listen to this thing, see how it sounds. Okay, so we're gonna give the guitar a little bit of a field test here. We're plugged in. Okay, we got sound. Let's turn this up. Definitely not my kind of pickup, but not far off. If I had to play a gig, I'd be screwed. The pickups aren't that great. They're very, very, very muffly. They have kind of a steady low and kind of a fixed high, kind of at a lower scale. And the mids are kind of fixed. Everything is just kind of bleak. The highs kind of roll off. Okay, in the last video we did a little sound test with just the video camera's audio. We're going to do the same thing today, but we also have a microphone hooked up, so we'll play some of that audio later on as well. Right now, let's just get some test tones. So, we heard what it sounded like with the other guitar. And now let's hear it with the Guitar Madness PAF. So yeah, it's got a lot more attack, a lot more definition, and lots of dynamic. So yes, I need a lot of dynamic in my sound, and I need a lot of bite. I changed out the pickup to a Guitar Madness PAF, yeah, for a whopping $19, and trust me, you get more than what you pay for on that. It sounds, I'll put it up against some of the old PAFs. It does the same kind of tone. There's a lot of inconsistencies in the winding, I assume, because it really sounds genuine. It sounds very genuine. These are very vintage output pickups I'm speaking about. So you're not going to get a very high gain sound right out of the box unless you're going into a very high gain amp. It all started with a string change, and I looked for any rough spots on the frets. This time around, this particular guitar actually had a couple of spots that were a little raised and a couple of spots that were a little low. So I went over and did a roughie on figuring out which ones really were in need of polishing, so to speak. So I got it really close, and buzzing's gone, and we're getting smooth notes. And the frets themselves did need to get a little bit of a little crowning. So again, just a mild one. I'm not really done yet. I just wanted to get this thing up and running and playing. And I may be done because it's just about perfect now. It took a little while, but I did a little tweaking, did a little minor setup work to it, and the guitar wound up playing absolutely perfect. So here's what I did to quiet the strings down. Hair ties. There we go. I tied one around here. I tied one around here. Now the audience doesn't have to see some big old piece of foam sticking out or whatever. But I just kind of sloppily tied them in there, but it does the trick. And yeah, it quiets it down quite a bit. When you're playing, it sounded like I had reverb on there originally. That's a lot of bite. Okay, less presses. I have a clone of a Rat pedal. It's called the Super Rat, and I have it set for boost mode, but the controls are just like a Rat pedal. I keep the gain kind of flat, and I just use the tone control. I can boost out a lot of the low end and low mids to meet the highs that I'm hammering down and keep it right in the middle, get a smoother sound, more of a JCM kind of bright cap approach where you can barely notice it as opposed to the Plex. So it's still plenty crunchy, plenty bite, just not as twangy as it was. Ooh, it does have a lot of nice twangs. I like that. Alright, yeah, there's a lot of attack on this rig and I'm adoring it. Alright, so we're going to break this thing down for you. We have an IYV Les Paul that I paid 130 bucks for. Okay, this is definitely worth 130 bucks. It has one little imperfection. There's like a little ding in the body. And they probably said, oh well, for 130 bucks, we don't care, we'll sell it anyway. But they finished it off, and actually it looks pretty good. The finish looked very nice right before I started doing the video, but I got my sweaty hands on it. But this thing really did look incredible, considering how inexpensive it was. It was built good, even on the inside of the guitar where the wiring was, it looked good. And on the back of the neck, what I did was, they did a great job on the finish, but I usually do a little Scotch-Brite so I can mat up the surface of this neck, so when I'm playing in humid regions, I don't have to stick to the neck. So yeah, that's what I did. All the way up here, this is where I stopped it. I don't know if you can see the line, but I taped it off and gave it a little Scotch-Brite in a to and fro direction, not that way, because you want to aeroplane your fingers across your wet strings and your wet fretboard and your wet neck. Alright, so here's my honest to God update about a month after I've gotten this thing. I've played it and I've played it and I played it, and the more I play it, the more it breaks in, and the more I'm seeing little things that need to be done, tiny little things. I've made little adjustments here and there. For the most part, if you want a guitar that really doesn't need like heavy fretwork or a setup right out of the box, you need something that'll play that day, IYV, they have a lot of really good guitars. I haven't heard of any duds. This was the worst one I'd heard of through the mail. This thing really didn't take more than 15 minutes to get where I needed it to go, and for 130 bucks, right to your doorstep, it's worth taking a risk on a guitar that you've never played before. And that's another thing I'd like to talk about, is a lot of people don't like to buy guitars in the mail. The problem there is, well, if you're buying a $3,000 Gibson, you don't want to buy it in the mail. You want to play the thing first. When it comes to something like this, you could take a chance. If you don't get the refund that you're supposed to get, hey, you at least have a prop for a film or something to smash on stage at your next show. Before we finish up this video, I'm going to play a couple of riffs on this thing and let you know what the new pickup is sounding like. It's just such a monster. Oh yeah. So if you haven't known already, I'm a sucker for that vintage sound. I'm a sucker for vintage instruments, and I'm not a sucker for those vintage prices. No, no, no. I have vintage gear. I just can't afford to re-tube it all the time. So now I'm going with tube preamp, solid state power amp. For life. I'm done with it. When it comes time to record, I have my trusted JMP style amp, my JCM 800 from 1981, I believe it is, one of the first ones. And I also have the matching 2-channel combo of the same year. I don't think at any point Marshall made 2 amps that sounded even close to these things. So if I really wanted to record with something top-notch, I'll go with that. This has taken me where I really have to mix and dial to get with the other rigs anyway, so I'm done with the tubes. I'm done with the money. I'm just gonna go right ahead and worry about an electric bill and not tubes. So that's how I'm doing this for now on. And I'm done with paying all that money for guitars too. I am now officially sick and tired of paying more than $200 for any instrument. All my basses and all my guitars I'm trying to keep at $200 or less. And well, I set out to spend $200, but pickup and guitar I hit the $150 mark. Not bad. Good for you, IYV. I'll probably be buying another one from you. So keep those customers happy and they'll keep coming back, right? I have had Gibsons in my possession that have played like a dream. But I would much rather have this guitar than any of them. They just didn't come as close as this does to playability. And the first IYV I got plays even better. So that's got to say something about the IYV and the fact that I'm paying 1/10 to 1/20th the price of the type of instrument I'm looking for and getting more of that vintage sound than you'll ever get in these modern Les Pauls unless you really tweak the hell out of them. So yeah, I'm gonna sit here with my broke ass vintage. So hopefully I can share with you how you can get in the realm if you don't have the budget. Why dream about it when you can have something that actually works and gets you the sound? And if you follow the channel and follow the other channels I have, you may see some links in the description soon, you'll see that I'm backing that shit up with how it sounds in the mix. And I'm doing very little EQ. If something's dramatic, I'll knock out some low end, or I'll add high, or I'll take away high if it desperately needs it. Otherwise, I'm trying to keep things as flat as possible, non-compressed, no bells and whistles. I'm trying to just go straight in and only do the usual suspects to get you a normal, legible mix. So you be the judge, and if I can save you some money, I will be a happy man. I've already saved money, and I want to spread the good faith, so keep tuning in, like, subscribe, and we can show you how to get tone on a budget. I'm Fritz O'Hara. Thanks again for stopping by. It's time for me to enjoy my tone on a budget.